Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel Q Explainer. So guys, on this video I'll gonna explain you the power of data in software testing. So guys, basically the data driven strategies can help the software testing, and basically it increase the test effectiveness by 40%, and it also reduce the critical bug in production by 15%, and also it enhance the customer satisfaction score by 10%. So in this presentation I gonna tell you the power of data in software testing, how you can create the data, and how to do the data driven testing in software testing methodology. So in this video I gonna tell you regarding this. So guys, let's get started. So before starting that, let me tell you why the data measures is needed in software testing. The traditional testing limitation, it relies on manual effort, and here we are not providing that proper amount of data. And as we are not providing the proper amount of data, so we doesn't know that what kind of actionable outcomes will occur when that particular model goes to production, or as the data helps for uncover the weakness and opportunities for improvement in software model, so we can targeted more particular functional areas, and we can test on real-time evidence rather than theoretical perspective. Now so let me tell you something. So first thing is, like, I have seen like if suppose I'm testing some model in functional perspective, and I just provided some random number of input in one field, and that test case is getting passed somehow. Now that same field is deployed in production, and person or customer is providing that proper data. On that time there is something got missed out from my end. Why this thing happens? Because of I haven't tested with proper amount of data, or you can say the targeted data. So our testing focus should be the proper data related testing, so it actually helps to improve the product quality. Now, how we can create a key matrix for tracking the data? So first key matrix is test execution matrix. So here we can track the pass and fail rates of test case success. Another is execution time. So we can track the execution time, and also we can track the test coverage for that proper we can say module code. So this thing is basically comes under test execution matrix. Another is defect and performance matrix. So here we can track the defect density and defect severity and defect priority based upon the business needs, and also we can track the defect resolution time, and we can track the responsiveness, and also we can track the response time, throughput, resource utilization for performance testing. So these all things are comes under key metrics for tracking. If these key metrics are not tracked properly, then we can't get to know the data driven testing helps us or not. So that's why this thing is more important while we are planning to do data driven testing. Now here some tools we can utilize for creating the data, or we can say creating the data collection. So first thing is test management tool, like X-ray is a test management tool which is integrated with Jira. So we can use some test management tool, so we can manage that our data. We can track the test cases, execution result there, or defect reports there. So it is, you can see it is kind of centralized system where that tracking data is easy. And there is automated testing framework. Automated testing framework in the sense of some kind of Selenium script we can create, some kind of robot script we can create. Through that automation testing framework we can create that random data, and we can also collect the data from different customer, and we can mimic that data, and also some kind of monitoring tool in the sense of some performance data sort we can create. And we can create some kind of, you can say, a data related CSV file, and we can import that data related CSV file in JMeter or other kind of performance testing tool. And through that way we can push it the data in that particular module, and we can check that the system performance or server performance. We can also use that, say, Jenkins for automation, Selenium for browser testing, TestRail for data management, JMeter for load testing, and Datadog for performance monitoring. So these all are some kind of tool that we can use for collecting the data, or we can say that creating the data. Then how we can analyze the test execution data? So that for this portion, that we need to detect the test cases. Flaky test cases in the sense of the test cases which is inconsistent, that cases is random, outcome is random, we doesn't predict that outcome should be pass or outcome should be fail. For some times it is getting pass, or sometimes it is getting fail. So this behavior is random. So for this kind of cases, we can easily get detected by this data driven approach. So it actually helps the reliability for this overall purpose. Another is optimize test suite. So we can reorder the test execution, so it will speed up the execution, and it will reduce that overall testing time, and also it reduce the testing effort. Another is spot coverage gap. So we need to pinpoint the code areas, and we need to go the prioritize item first. So for prioritize item we need to put that highest test coverage, and the low prioritize item we need to do the low, we need to put the low test coverage. So that helps the proper coverage, like for every kind of possible scenarios. So for sorting the this kind of test execution actually helps for reduce the failure rates, and also it guides the team, and we can address the root causes for instability, and we can like improve that software reliability effectively. Now, how to do that defect analysis, and we can do that uncovering patterns. So for first thing is we need to prioritize the defect. So we need to group the defects based upon their severity, their type, their affected components, and their focusing effort, and like how much time it will take, or if you try to solve it. So this kind of categorize is very important. Another is we need to identify the reoccurring issues. Some kind of iterative issues are present, that issues are keep on coming, and it is like a loop. So we need to spot that pattern, like which kind of defect is reoccurring, and we can identify that particular reoccurring issues, and it will help us to solve that systematic problem. And that is we need to determine the root cause. So sometimes, like, to some defects are coming with that some problem, some problem related environment, some problem related to our data, some problem related our scope. So this kind of root cause we need to find. So for that we have some kind of method, like 5 why technique, fishbone technique. So these kind of techniques are there. So through these techniques we can identify that root cause. So it actually helps us to like doing the defect analysis properly. So here some one example is Pareto principle. So Pareto principle is telling like 20% defects are actually responsible for 80% of issues. So this thing, overall concept is called defect analysis. Now another thing is performance testing inside. So here through this performance testing we can identify the bottlenecks, we can spot that particular areas where the system testing performs. So it helps us to optimize that server, and we can tell that particular like performance bottleneck that are targeted for optimization. Another is optimize configuration. Through that we can adjust the system settings or server settings for improve the responsiveness and throughput. And there is verify the requirement. So through this way we can ensure that application meets that predefined performance benchmark before release. So for instance, like we need to monitor the CPU utilization during the peak load testing, and we can highlight the potential bottleneck for that required attention actually. So this performance testing inside is pretty much helpful when we are going the data driven approach in software testing. Now let me tell that why that data driven testing need to be prioritized. So first thing is it actually risk based testing. So we can prioritize the test planning based upon the potential impact and the likelihood of failure. So through that way we can reduce the risk basically. And that is we are using data insight. So here that leverage the defect of execution data for identifying the high risk model. So we can identify the high risk model by leveraging the defect by execution the proper data. Another is we can do the focus level testing. Sometimes that testing we are doing that is a random and totally like test case based, but as we have prioritized everything, prioritized with data properly, we are properly define the data, we're not using that random data here. So we have some concrete areas that actually likely cause for critical issues, and we can optimize that whole resource. Now some tools are there for data collection and testing. So first thing is we can generate the random valid data by the help of automation script, and there is some logging data logging tools. We need to have some data logging tools. So through that data logging tools we can capture the test execution details, and we can capture the outcome of analysis. And there is some performance monitoring tool. So through performance monitoring tool also we can create the data, we can provide that, we can check that system behavior by while doing the execution of performance testing. Another is defect tracking system. Through that documented and managing issue, we can generate the data based upon that defect found during the testing phase. So guys, the overall conclusion is the data need to be collected while doing the test execution, or while raising the defect, or while doing the performance testing. So it actually helps for reliability, or it helps for a proper stability of software. And for a analyzing point of view, analyzing is pretty much happening in prioritized way, and it helps a proper it helps for a proper continuous improvement. And that is deliver quality. Because of that data driven testing, it helps for delivering the quality, it helps the test effectiveness, minimize the risks, and high quality software for that customer. So that's why data driven testing is a proper thing, and it is not it is right now it is a trend in market. And also it is a essential approach for meet that modern development challenges and customer expectation, because nowadays in market so many applications are coming for a couple of days or within a 2 or 3 weeks. But through this data driven testing we can create a proper data, and we can test that, we can execute the test cases based upon that particular data and based upon the prioritized mode. So it helps to reduce the defect count, as well as it helps to reduce the risk of software, and it improves the reliability of the software. So I hope this video actually helps you. If this video is helpful for you, please subscribe my channel, help me to grow on YouTube, and stay tuned with my channel. I'll try to create more videos like this. And thank you guys, thanks for your valuable time, thanks for watching.